We have an awesome show for you today. We're going to do our WrestleMania predictions episode, going through match by match, who we think is going to win, who might show up, and who's going to lose. Full predictions for you guys right now. Hey everybody, welcome back to Assemble. I'm Matt. Great to have you here on the show. I'm excited. It's WrestleMania weekend. We're going to go through the entire match card for WrestleMania, both nights, Saturday and Sunday, giving you our thoughts, who we predict to go over. The important thing here, though, everybody, ladies and gentlemen, do me a favor, get in the comments right now. Get those fingers going. Get the Cheeto dust off those fingers right there. Get in the comments, yeah? And go tell Matt, what do you think is going to happen at WrestleMania? Who is going to show up? Who is going to win? What are your predictions? Let's get into the full match breakdown. The first match on the card, we're going to talk about Bobby Lashley versus Omos. This match was announced on Raw. Bobby Lashley came out, returned, presumably before he was going to have his surgery. He is taking out Omos. He actually did a full sprint, attacked Omos, and he knocked him on the ground, on his butt. And that was the first time ever Omos has been knocked down. These two are going to go at it, and I think this is an important match, mostly for Omos. I think what's going to happen here is Bobby Lashley is going to come in. He's coming in a hot babyface right now. We haven't seen Lashley since Elimination Chamber. He's going to come in. He's going to take out Omos. I think it's going to be a big, big spotlight on Omos, though. And my prediction is that Omos is going to win and beat Bobby Lashley. This will send Lashley off to go get his surgery. He'll be off for presumably several months. And this pushes Omos higher up the scale. He needs this win. He needs a big motivational win over a huge opponent like Bobby Lashley. Omos is my pick to win this thing. Next match on the WrestleMania card, Pat McAfee, Austin Theory. Handpicked by Mr. McMahon. This is a fun feud. Pat McAfee has done well with his NXT run, having 2 matches in NXT. This will be Austin Theory's first WrestleMania. I was going to say that Pat McAfee is going to win this thing. WrestleMania is all about good, feel-good moments, but I think through all the shenanigans, I think you're going to want to see Austin Theory go over. He's the heel. It doesn't do anything to Pat McAfee if he loses. He can at least go on commentary and talk about how he put out an amazing showing against a superstar. They will probably get Pat to do some big spot where he's going to jump off of something, off of the stage, something like that. So I'm going to say that Austin Theory is going to win. Maybe it'll be like a cheat little win where maybe they both crash and it just happens that Austin Theory puts his arm over Pat McAfee to get the win. But you want to propel Austin Theory higher coming out of WrestleMania. He needs that motivation as a heel to move on. If he loses and Pat wins, Pat can just talk up a big game. But it does nothing for Austin Theory. And he's the one going in there week after week. And you'd have to rebuild Austin Theory. So Theory is going to win this thing in my books. The Women's Tag Team Championship match. Zelina Vega and Carmella are the champs. They're going up against Sasha Banks, Naomi versus the team of Rhea Ripley and Liv Morgan versus Natalya and Shayna Baszler. A thrown together a bunch of tag teams for a thrown together women's tag team division. Now, I don't think Zelina and Carmella are going to hold on to these belts. Women's tag team division is just whatever at this point. Sasha and Naomi were my front runners to win this thing because it's Sasha and Naomi. They have had so much screen time, TV time over the last several months, particularly Naomi. I think they are almost your fan favorites to win the whole thing. Natalya and Shayna Baszler thrown together at the last minute. Don't see them winning. Natalya has had WrestleMania tag moments last year. I'm going to say Rhea Ripley and Liv Morgan are going to win the tag titles. I think it will do more for them. If they want to do anything with the women's tag division, I think you need to put it on 2 stars that could use it. Liv Morgan had good matches against Becky Lynch. She's been elevated a little bit more. Rhea Ripley, I want to see going after the main singles title, but they're not doing that just yet. And Sasha and Naomi, I feel they don't need it. I don't think it does anything for them other than good WrestleMania moment for them. So I'm going to go with kind of the dark horse a little bit here. Rhea Ripley and Liv Morgan win the tag titles. Speaking of tag titles, Raw Tag Team Championships are up next. RK Bro against the Street Profits against Alpha Academy. This is going to be one of my favorite matches for WrestleMania to watch. These 3 teams, and particularly RK Bro and Alpha Academy, have been putting on clinics and bangers in the promos and the segments, all of this stuff week after week on Raw. I have been loving it. RK Bro is going in as tag champions. We've seen the tag titles go back and forth. Street Profits have been added in the mix. A triple threat makes it fun. A lot of stuff can happen here. And I'm torn between RK Bro winning and retaining the titles or Alpha Academy getting those titles back. We have been building this RK Bro story for quite some time, and I don't think the split is going to happen here at WrestleMania. I think they still have a lot of mileage out of RK Bro, probably up until SummerSlam. Maybe after WrestleMania, they could start a tease and a slow burn. Eventually, they're going to want to have a turn here. I think Street Profits are going to take the pin. They're going to eat the loss. And I really like Chad Gable and Otis. I really like Alpha Academy. They're really, really entertaining. And you could still have these matches going on in WrestleMania Backlash after the fact. I'm going to say that RK Bro retains. They have been the most overact on Raw for the better half of a year. And I think you need to give them that big WrestleMania win. Give Randy that big WrestleMania win, even if it's retaining the titles. And WWE is not, it's not abnormal for them to have titles not change hands at WrestleMania. So you put this somewhere either as an opener or middle of the card. RK Bro retains. But what I want to see happen, what I hope happens, is the Street Profits clash. And we start seeing Montez Ford feeling like he's got to break up and do his own thing. My key thing to watch here is after the fact, after WrestleMania, is I've been wanting to see Street Profits break up so we can get Montez Ford on his own. Dawkins, I'm sorry. I hope there's future teams with you, or go work with the Hurt Business or something like that. That'd be fun. But Montez, I think he could use a singles run, put him around the IC title, the US title scene, turn on Dawkins, have that match at Backlash or something down the road, but split that team up. They've done everything they can. They've been added into this tag match. I'm going with Montez is going to make a turn at some point because he's a tremendous superstar and he needs that singles run. RK Bro is going to retain. Johnny Knoxville versus Sami Zayn. This is going to be full of garbage cans and something gets lit on fire and table spots and what have you, and something getting electrocuted too in the nether regions. But Johnny Knoxville, I feel, is going to win this match. We dropped Sami's IC title off of him, put it on Ricochet, which is, we don't know what's happening with Ricochet at this point. But we did all that so we could have this storyline between Johnny Knoxville and Sami Zayn. It's going to be fun. It's going to be entertaining. Jackass guys are probably going to get involved somehow. Sami, I don't see winning this thing. Feel good WrestleMania moment. You got Johnny Knoxville with the win. Another match on the card that I'm super excited for, AJ Styles versus Edge. First time ever having these two clash together, maybe taking a Styles clash. This is going to be fun. One, can't wait for the entrances to see Edge's new look. He has not debuted the brand new blue Edge look fully with the full gear and all of that stuff. I really hope for that. AJ's going to do phenomenal. This is going to be the 20-25 minute match that I'm looking for, and I cannot wait for this one. This is a hard one. I feel that Edge needs it more. Edge has debuted new look, new theme song. He has a new way of talking to people and being a nasty blue Edge heel. And AJ's going with the Pitbull. And he will put on a tremendous match against Edge. But I think Edge has more riding on this and to come out of this thing. Plus, they can continue the feud. They've only been setting this up for WrestleMania. You can have a second and third match out of this. You can have this thing go a lot longer. To me, Edge needs the win. He needs the WrestleMania win in front of the crowd. He lost to Roman and Daniel Bryan last time around. So I think that he needs to get that big win, even as a heel. And that way you balance the card too, of not just having baby faces winning the whole thing over the two nights. Have Edge win in a really nasty win over AJ Styles. So Edge can go out of this thing and talk more about how he is the most dominant superstar ever. And they can have a rematch and put them together at WrestleMania Backlash. And after that, and you could have a cage match and something else, and AJ Styles can get his win back. For me, Edge is going to win at WrestleMania, and I can't wait. SmackDown Women's Championship match. Charlotte Flair, Ronda Rousey. I don't care. I don't care. And that's too bad. Because Charlotte is Charlotte Flair, who will put on a great match at WrestleMania, who will do her all. It's Ronda Rousey that is my issue. Her promos have sucked the life out of any momentum this feud has had. She has put me to sleep with her promos. I have no interest in seeing her as champion, and unfortunately, I think that's what's going to happen. But something tells me WWE might change things up here. I don't think the crowd is responding to Ronda the way they want. They had Ronda Rousey win the Royal Rumble. Great pop because she came back. That was all expected. You're going to get that Royal Rumble pop and that moment. Right after that, promo after promo, week after week, it has not worked. I have fallen asleep with this thing. I don't care. It's really too bad because if they had a better promos and better back and forth, probably could have heated Ronda up a lot more and have it work. but it just feels dull, and I think this match is going to be the big lull of WrestleMania, and it's going to be whatever. And I think WWE might change gears and have Charlotte retain at WrestleMania, furthering herself as the most dominant women's champion, get a new contender in there, and maybe say goodbye to Ronda Rousey, because we don't need her as a champion. If you're going to have her walk into the next pay-per-view or walk out into SmackDown as the women's champion, maybe it's good for ratings and Fox and all of that, but it's nothing for fans. I don't think anybody wants to see it, unless they're going to give her the title and then she'll drop it at the next pay-per-view. So in this one, I'll go the opposite. I'll take a gamble here. I'm going to say Charlotte is going to retain the Women's Championship. Now let's take a look at the Raw Women's Championship match. Becky Lynch, Bianca Belair. This one I'm very excited for because I'm curious to see how the crowd will react to both of them. Becky still gets cheered a lot. Bianca's obviously over, and they want to get Bianca to the point of that superstardom. She won last year at WrestleMania. She's beaten one of the horsewomen. I think she's going to win here again. My money is going on Bianca to win the Raw Championship. I think she needs it. They can close the chapter on this story. But what I'm curious is the element in this match. What I kind of hope for is almost a double turn. Almost. What I want to see is, and I think you could see this match turning into a face versus face scenario. Bianca and Becky and the crowd getting behind both of them, putting on a tremendous match. Ultimately, Bianca, I think, wins. I hope that we see a turn by Becky. The crowd just is still going to eat her up and still just loves her for her character, for what she does in the ring. But you'll have to move these two on into a new story and do something else. But Bianca, I think, is going to win this thing. The KO show. Stone Cold Steve Austin versus Kevin Owens. Stunner versus Stunner. It's a brawl. It's a match. It's a whatever this thing is going to be. This now looks to be ending night one of WrestleMania as the final thing segment. And I think before this, it might be the Charlotte Ronda match. But the KO show is going to finish off WrestleMania Saturday, which is exciting. I'm glad Stone Cold is going to be in the main event, the final thing, and we'll get that. And it's going to be a brawl, and I don't think Kevin Owens is going to get a stunner in, and if he is, he's not going to get a good one in on Austin. It's going to be a huge moment that I cannot wait to see. Stone Cold Steve Austin wins this brawl segment, and I cannot wait. Rey and Dominik Mysterio versus The Miz and Logan Paul. Once again, that'll be a fun, entertaining little match here, but I think we're ultimately going to get Rey and Dominik, get that fun, feel-good moment. Rey is the cover star for WWE 2K22, have his hand held high, it's sponsored by 2K. Yeah, you get Rey to win this thing, and he beats The Miz and Logan Paul goes home. It'll be a fun back and forth, but it's a celebrity match. We had Johnny Knoxville. We predict that he wins. That's the face over there. So heels Miz and heel Logan Paul, they're going to lose, and we're going to have Rey and Dom win this thing. Drew McIntyre, Happy Corbin. A match I'm kind of curious about. We've seen this week after week and month after month with Happy Corbin and Drew and Madcap Moss. What I hope happens here is, number one, I think Drew wins. You all let me know, but I think Drew wins this thing against Happy Corbin, gets his hands on him finally, gets the sword back and chops him into bits. It's very violent. But he wants that Claymore. I think Drew is going to hit that Claymore 1, 2, 3, or 3, 2, 1, whatever Drew does. And he wins this thing. But what I want to see out of this is Madcap Moss turn on Happy Corbin. Get some story out of this thing. Get rid of these two. And I want Happy Corbin to be Sad Corbin again because it's way more entertaining. And we get a different Baron Corbin out of all of this. Move these two on. Get Drew back into a title scene or doing something else that's relevant. Move them on. It'll be a lot of fun. And then I want to see Madcap Moss and Baron Corbin go at it. And you can have that be the feud coming out of all of this. But Drew McIntyre is going to win this thing with the sword. Now, I'm saving a few matches here, going up and down the card a little bit, but I'm saving some of the big matches that I want to talk about in just a minute. But guys, thank you so much for being here. And if you guys enjoy the show here, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, all that good stuff. It helps the YouTube algorithm. The next match on the card I want to talk about, the Usos versus Shinsuke Nakamura and Rick Boogs. SmackDown Tag Team Championships. I don't think that Shinsuke and Rick are going to win this thing. I've enjoyed their trailers with the car and the Toyota, the Tundras. Those have been entertaining. But I don't see them winning the tag titles. I think the Usos win because likelihood Roman retaining the bloodline holds on to all the gold. It would probably be a fun 10-minute match. Not a lot I see happening in this thing, but I think the bloodline retains. The Usos retain the tag titles. King Woods and Kofi Kingston, Sheamus and Ridge Holland. Once again, another tag match that I feel is kind of whatever. It's thrown in there. It's going to be a good 10, 12-minute match between these guys. But I think you're going to have King Woods and you're going to have Kofi Kingston go over. Get that big pop at a WrestleMania crowd. That's what they need. So not much to say here. I'm not really into Ridge Holland. I think Sheamus is fantastic. but I think that the New Day is going to win this thing. And maybe you could get a moment where Big E maybe just walks out to the ring and raises their hands. Second to last match to talk about for WrestleMania weekend, Seth Rollins versus handpicked Mr. McMahon opponent, mystery opponent. Who will it be? Now, the rumors are going around that we could see Shane McMahon at WrestleMania. I hope not. I hope this is just a swerve, or that Shane's just going to WrestleMania to be a part of WrestleMania backstage. I don't want it to be Shane. I know that's popping up for a lot of people, that he could be the mystery opponent. The crowd will turn because they've been chanting Cody for so many weeks. It's Cody. It's Cody Rhodes. Cody Rhodes is coming in. He's going to fight Seth. Cody Rhodes is going to win. Get that match. Then you can kick that feud off between Cody and Seth after WrestleMania. You can have them go at it for 2-3 pay-per-views if you want, but I think you would get almost Mr. McMahon coming out, or the lights go down, and then boom, Cody's music hits. Question would be, what will be Cody's theme song? Is he going to bring in the AEW theme song? Is he going to be dashing Cody Rhodes? Or maybe just something new? But I'm excited for this match. It'd be cool to see Cody in there. And they'll put on an amazing match, and Seth's going to do a great job too. But Cody Rhodes is going to be the mystery opponent, and Cody Rhodes is going to win. And the last match, the end of 2 nights of WrestleMania. The unification match, winner take all, the end of a feud, the end of a 5, 6, 8 year rivalry, whatever this thing has been. We're going to put this thing behind us. It is going to be Roman Reigns versus Brock Lesnar. And at the end of it all, Roman Reigns is going to walk out with both titles, unify those titles, and then on Raw, give us a brand new unified World Heavyweight Undisputed Championship of the WWE. I'm excited for this. We have seen this match for many years now, but the stipulations are different. And the characters are different. This version of Roman, this version of Brock is working, and I think this is going to be their giant crescendo to end it all, put it behind us, and finally we'll have one champion, and I'm excited because we can see Roman on both shows and get new contenders in there, and I do hope that they literally unify those titles and we get some brand new title coming out of this thing. That's what I want to see, and I think they've both done amazing work, but typically Brock is going to take a bit of a leave after WrestleMania, and he'll be gone for a while and then maybe return at, say, SummerSlam. And you got Roman in there day after day. But at the end of probably a 20-minute brawl and slobber knocker, we're going to have Roman Reigns stand tall over Brock Lesnar, both titles, fireworks, the whole shebang, and that will be the end of WrestleMania. Let me know in the comments below your predictions for WrestleMania. I hope you all enjoy it. I will have my cocktails. I got my whiskey ready, and I got all the snacks and the fixins ready to go. So I'm very excited. It's the best time of year for wrestling fans. There's going to be something good on the card that we can all enjoy. Thanks so much for watching. Let me know in the comments below your predictions, and I will see you on the next episode. Enjoy WrestleMania.